Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Darren Veach with Long Building Technologies, and I want to welcome you to today's coffee break. I also have Chris Swanson with Distech with us today. And last time Chris and I got together to do one of these, we talked about truly open building automation systems. And that's actually a passion of mine. It has to do with after the warranty period is done, how many control contractors can work on your system. It's great for if you have an open system like Niagara and Distech, that allows you to have multiple vendors, better pricing. It's better on your funding. So anyway, today we get to listen to Chris speak about apps for your mobile phones. Distech, they are a cutting edge company. They have a great R&D group, and their goal is to stay ahead of everybody else in the industry in the world. And one of their offerings has to do with several apps that they have that make operating your building automation system much easier. So, hey, Chris, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me, Darren?
I got you. Come on.
Nice. Let me share my screen real quick. Hopefully you guys can see that. That coming through?
Looking good.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Darren. Thank you, everyone. When Darren and Melissa asked me to come talk about mobile applications, I was excited. I think we have a lot to share. My name is Chris Swanson. I'm the Regional Sales Manager for Distech Controls for the Northwest. And I make it up to Seattle quite often, so I'm in your neck of the woods all the time. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about mobile apps. I think, though, before we jump into mobile apps, it's important to kind of talk about what's going on behind the scenes. You know, what's the engine and the technology that's driving it and allowing us to develop mobile applications for our controllers. So those who heard my earlier coffee talk about open control systems heard me talk just briefly about Restful Api and what that means. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that before diving into the apps that we have available. But about 6 or 7 years ago, Distech Controls was first to market with a BACnet over IP control line that we called Eclipse. And the Eclipse platform was based on the Android operating system, which embraced the Restful API language. And Restful API is really the language of the internet. It's what allows different servers to talk to each other and work over the internet very well together. API, a lot of people haven't heard the name API, but it stands for Application Programming Interface. It's essentially just a way for two different computer servers to communicate with each other. And I think it's nice to use the analogy of Uber. I think it resonates, I think, with a lot of folks out there. So when you're using the Uber app on your phone and you're looking at the map of your driver coming towards your pickup location, you know, you're not actually storing all those different maps on your phone. Uber is actually borrowing Google Maps and using them as their map resource. And so when you schedule a pickup, they're actually reaching out on the cloud, borrowing the applicable map from Google and bringing it down and putting that on your phone to use with their Uber app. Right, so that's a nice example of sharing data across different servers and using them in that way. That's what an API does. Distech uses APIs and we use them to write mobile apps to our devices, but actually we open that up to everyone. We publish a software development kit called an SDK on the internet, and anyone can download that and get the specs and the information needed to develop their own applications and apps and speak directly to the Distech controllers that way. So let's take a look at some of the apps that we have already developed and are available out there that we use all the time. Here's a couple of popular ones, the MyDC Control app and the MyDC Air Balancing app. These are both available on the app stores for free. They actually have little demo versions you can actually run through and see how they might work even if they're not connected to a building. So the MyDC Control app is just a nice, quick and easy screenshot, a nice simple way to look at the system running in your building. Gives you access to the points list. You can see the alarms that are going off. Gives you your scheduling tool, overrides. You can even see your PID loops. So a nice, quick, and easy way to connect, via Wi-Fi to a controller and see what's happening in your building space. The other one, the MyDC Air Balancing app, pretty popular with air balancers. It's a way to save air balancers time, and it gets them on and off a job site faster. So essentially, they can connect again via wireless and Wi-Fi to a controller, and they can open and close a damper from a VAV box remotely. When they are collecting their airflow data from their air hood, they can then put that in and calculate all their values and essentially use that to tune their system pretty quick and easy from their handheld device. And it's just a nice, faster way for them to perform the air balancing function in a building. Those are two really nice apps we've got, but let's take a look at what we call the Personify Platform. So pretty in-depth app that we've developed. A couple of different features here. The three screenshots on the right give you a nice simplistic way to look at your building functions. You've got your lighting control here. Next one is your temperature control. And then you've got your blind functionality here that you can control from your handheld device. Gives you a nice way to control that from wherever you are in the building. But then the screens on the left really dive even deeper into the building interconnectivity. So this screen here, the one on the far left, shows meeting room scheduling. So the app actually syncs up to a Microsoft Outlook or other scheduling device and allows you to schedule a conference room or book some other room in a building. And the next screenshot here is actually the mapping tool. A lot of people call that wayfinding, but it gives you a way to navigate your way through a building. Oftentimes people use these in large campuses like universities or hospitals where occupants have a hard time finding their way through some complicated network of buildings and hallways. So really cool functionality. There's some other stuff that's built in there too, like ticketing. So if you have some maintenance needs, if something broke down like a coffee machine or a toilet, you can enter a maintenance ticket and schedule someone to come out and service that. There's also some social media aspects to this. So different occupants can get together and schedule events together or maybe pool their lunch orders and just really use it as a way to connect and share information across the platform. So this is the Personify app. And it really just personifies, in my opinion, smart buildings and how a building can really be used to connect its occupants to the space. So I'd like to show you next a video that gives you a real world example of how that might look and what a smart building looks like using the Personify app. Here we go.
Some people arrive at work on a Monday feeling the morning blues. Personally, I don't mind. For the past 2 weeks, I've been working with the best assistant ever. It's a little chilly this morning. Wearing a winter coat on my desk is not my style. To worry, I have the luxury of an assistant who can control the thermostat for me. No need to move from my chair. Efficiency at its finest. Of course, it's always when you need your caffeine boost that the coffee machine decides to stop working. At least I don't need to chase down someone to fix it. Workplace reports the incident for me. My 11 o'clock meeting. Amsterdam room. It's great working in this new office, but we have at least 25 conference rooms. Where's this one? Let's have a quick look. With Workplace, it's like having a GPS. At the next corner, turn left and bingo, Amsterdam room. I make the most of my lunch break by catching up on our company's shared newsfeed on Workplace. Oh, Sarah, that's true. I promised her that we would go running after work today. Clearly, she did not forget. Let's do this properly. I'll schedule an event on Workplace. Maybe Jeremy will want to join us later today. Speaking of Jeremy, I enjoyed working with him, but his speciality seems to be hosting meetings in hallways. There are loads of available meeting rooms. It would be a shame not to make the most of them. Here we go. Now we'll be much more efficient. No need for GPS. I've booked the closest meeting room. Workplace, you worked hard today. You deserve to relax now. Let's go running.
Okay, so that's perfect. So that kind of showcases what a smart building could look like, and connected with my Personify, and working within the world of IoT. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you today. Hopefully you've got a little better insight into what Distech Controls offers in the world of applications and mobile apps. Be happy to stick around and answer any questions, but please feel free to reach out to me directly as well, and be happy to talk more about any of the topics you've got.
Hey, Chris, somebody asked that. I was going to ask the same question. Is there a cost to these apps?
So most of our apps are free. So the two here, the My DC Control app and the Air Balancing app, are free. And then moving further, you've got the My Personify. So we've got two different versions of My Personify. The first version is the 3 screenshots on the right that simply control lighting, temperature, and blinds, and that is free as well. Then to bump up to the little more sophisticated version, My Personify Workplace, which includes the wayfinding, the scheduling, and the ticketing kind of aspects, that does have a cost to it. And the way that we calculate cost is really on a square foot basis. So it sort of depends on the size of your building and the amount of work that's entailed with setting that up.
Right. Could you go back to the one screen for the free apps? Take a
Sure.
look at that. Those 2 free apps, what I would see is your typical maintenance person and actually installation as well using these. I know other apps for other companies I've seen, I've had to pay to be able to do these types of things. So these are huge workhorses for just normal application and everyday use as well. So I think that's a big positive.
For sure. You can download those on the App Store and play with the demo version of those as well, and kind of get a sense of what they look and feel like anytime you like.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other questions out there? Okay, so I want to thank you for being here today for this coffee break. And next week's coffee break will be Milestone Video Systems. So everyone have a good day. Take care.
Thank you.